Hi guys, welcome to Scarbeck Studio. In today's video, I wanted to show you the behind the scenes of making some of my Christmas projects. If you love Christmas and love sewing and making gifts for other people, or maybe just want to make things for your house, you'll definitely enjoy this video. I'm going to show you how I think about the project, how I plan, choose fabric. I'm sure a lot of you will enjoy it, and hopefully this video will bring you a lot of joy for this December season. Let's get into it. Today I'm going to a fabric store and I'm very excited about that. But before I go, I thought I'm going to show you what I am planning to make. So again, I don't know what fabric I'm going to get, but I have some inspirations here pulled from Pinterest. I'm going to show you a few ones that I'm thinking about making. I really like red for Christmas. So I found those red round placemats with ruffles, and I think it looks really beautiful. I love the color. I think it's very easy to make. So I might do something like that. I think piping will look really beautiful there. If I use some contrasting color like white or green or something, I think it would look really, really good. It gives a little bit more luxurious finish to placemats. So I thought about doing that. I also thought about adding a layer of batting in between the layers, and that would make the mat a little bit more heat resistant, I guess. So if I wanted to put something hotter, it would protect the table more. I think that would be a really good idea. So this is something that I'm thinking about. And again, I've never done it before. I've never used batting in my life because I don't quilt. I think that would be a really fun project for me to learn. I might make them rectangle because if I do that, again, it would save me space on a table, but also I will save fabric. So the project will be a little cheaper. So that is like a little interesting thing that I could do. And I really love those rectangle ones. I love when pink and red are put together. I think it looks really good. I am going to probably use Christmas colors like I talked about, but I think this is just going to be such a fun project. And again, I'm not sure if I'll add ruffle. I might just add bias tape or something on the edge. I think that would look really good too. And another thing that I want to make is those little coasters. I love them. And even if they don't fit on my table, because my table is not too big, I can put them around the house. Again, I use coasters all the time. And why not have cute coasters? I might make them in random colors, we shall see, but definitely want to do that. Another thing that I really love, I'm probably not going to do that, but I love those napkins for cutlery, napkin or pocket. I don't really know what it's called. I mean, if I have time, I might try to do it. Probably not, but I think it looks really beautiful and it will be such a fun project for Christmas. Even like a gift for somebody, that would be really nice. Obviously, I'm going to make some stockings. I already have some fabric from last year, so I'm probably going to make them the same. Maybe I'll add some velvet ribbon or something because I know velvet is very trendy, but definitely will use the same colors. So I'm not going to really go over that. So yeah, this year I want to decorate a little bit more. I want to have a little bit more Christmassy themed stuff around the house. I never do this, honestly. I might get some ribbons and put them around the house. Like I said, I want to decorate a little bit more. And I also love those ornaments here. I think they're so beautiful and they're so easy to make. Obviously time consuming, especially the ones with beads. I think they're quite time consuming, so I'm not going to do any of that. And if you want to add something trendy, you can just get velvet ribbons and wrap them around your ornaments, and that will make it a little bit more 2025. But to be honest with you guys, who cares about trends? All right, let's go to the store. So I decided to visit this new fabric store that just opened in October, and they had a lot of velvet. As you can see here, the red velvet. They had green velvet with a little sparkles on it, and it looked really, really good in store. As you can see, this store is very, very big. I also like this fabric. Obviously, this is not really good for stockings or anything like that, but I just thought it was very nice and sparkly, and I was wondering what could I use it for in the future. I ended up debating between this green cotton with dots, and the only thing I wasn't sure if I want to get it is because I wanted to get red. That was the color that I wanted. I also found this red that was pretty nice, but I wasn't sure about the tone of it, the shade. It wasn't vibrant enough for me. So you'll see later which one I got because I got one of them. First fabric store didn't have any piping, so I decided to go to a second one, and thankfully they had a lot of this satin piping. The second store had a lot of really nice cotton in festive colors, so I was very happy because I wanted to get some lining for my stockings. I found some fabric and I found some piping, which is good, and I'll see how it goes at home, and if I need, I'm gonna come back here. This store is not like crazy far from me, so I can always come back and get more, but hopefully it is gonna work well, and I'm gonna go home and start sewing. I'm gonna show you what I got at the fabric store yesterday. I wonder if you guessed. As you remember, I was thinking between the red and the green, because those were, I guess, the most Christmassy available fabrics. There was also some velvet, but placemats, velvet, not a good idea. So I wanted to go for 100% cotton. And I ended up going with this green fabric. As you can see, it has little dots, and the reason I got this one is because I think it's a good Christmas shade. Personally, I like it for Christmas. And the hardest part about going to fabric store is that they don't always have the right fabric, the fabric that I want. And they had a lot of reds, but they were not the right shade. They were a little bit too orangey. I would actually argue that those were not even reds. They were orange colors. And I just didn't really like it. And the one that was 100% cotton that I was thinking about getting was just a little bit too burgundy, and I prefer something brighter, something like this fabric. This is perfect Christmas tone. So I ended up changing my plan. I'm not going to do red placements, but I'm going to do green ones, which I think is going to be quite fun. I like the dots. And in the second fabric store, I got this, oh, this is very tangled. I got this piping cord, and it's essentially made out of satin. And as you guys remember, I was debating between green, and it was kind of cool because the green was exactly the same shade as this. Perfect. So I was debating between green and white, but I think white would be a nice contrast, especially because the dots are white, and I think it's going to look quite elegant. So I'm very excited to try this. This is for placemat. So that store had a lot of velvet, which makes sense. Velvet is very popular right now, so that's what they had, but I didn't really like it. I'm not a big fan of velvet. I thought I might get some because it's so popular right now. All the stores are doing their velvet stockings and all that kind of stuff, but I just didn't really like it. Decided to stick with this. And in the second store, I forgot my swatches. So I got a fabric that I thought would work, and now I'm questioning my choices. I ended up getting this fabric for lining for stockings. It was only $3.50. It's polyester 100%. Again, it's just stockings. I don't really care if it's polyester or not. But now when I look at the swatch, previous fabric that I had, completely different. One thing that I'm a little bit nervous about is this trim. Doesn't go that well with this. Again, they didn't really have anything in this shade. The second store is the one that I go to a lot, and they had a lot of really nice fabric. I might go back there with swatches tomorrow if I decide that this is just not doing it, and I'll get something that will match this trim. But again, it's Christmas. I don't mind if the colors are a little bit mismatched, so I'll see how it goes and we'll see what I'll do. Let's get to work. I had to iron all of the fabric from last year, and as you can see here, I am using a cotton cloth. This is like a proper way to iron your fabric. It's very safe and it doesn't damage the fabric. Then I had to also make a new sewing pattern for my stockings because I just lost the one from last year. Not a big deal. Making a sewing pattern for stockings is the easiest thing in the world. Anybody can do it. Then I started cutting all of the stockings pattern pieces, and I'm not kidding you guys, this took me all day. Then I started working on my placemat sewing pattern, and again, it's just a circle, so it's very easy. Anybody can do it. And of course, then I cut out all of the pattern pieces. This whole thing, like I said, took me all day. Few days later, hello guys, I have finished cutting all of the pieces, and it's actually really time consuming, but it's all good. Yesterday I sewn the first placemat because I wanted to see the best way to sew it so I can later show you how to do it. Obviously not in this video, but there will be a next really short video on how to sew it if you like any of the stuff I made. and I think you're gonna like it. Look, this is the placemat that I made for Christmas. This is the right side and it looks so good. I actually put it on my table yesterday and it looked really, really good with all the plates and everything. I love it. So this is the right side. I really think the piping looks beautiful here, and I'm going to show you the left side. As you can see, without piping it doesn't look as good, in my opinion at least. Piping just makes it look so much more luxurious and professional. I haven't closed the opening yet. I'm going to hand stitch it later. I forgot to say it earlier, but I decided to put a layer of canvas in my placemats. So it's fabric, canvas, fabric again, and I need to cut extra 5 circles because I only cut one. I just forgot to do it. It's going to be very simple. But this step is optional. It just makes the mat a little bit thicker. So optional, you can do it or you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Recently, I decided to buy clips for my fabric and I've been testing it a little bit. I am not too sure if I like it or not yet. I normally use pins and I think pins are just very effective. Is the best method, I think, to connect 2 layers together. This works pretty good for bias binding and it works really good for piping as well. So definitely I'm going to use clips for that. This is also way faster. The only thing is, obviously, you cannot sew over them, over pins. If you pin them perpendicular, you can sew over them if you like. I don't think you would be able to get away with just having clips. So I think a cool accessory, not a necessity, but I'm definitely going to continue using them and see how I go. You never know. Before I gather fabric, I usually like to divide it into 4 different parts. So what I do, I bend it in half and then in quarters and I mark it. And essentially what it does, it helps me to pin it later to my placemats, to the circle. I like to do it because later when I pin it to this circle, I'm going to pin it first in 4 different places and then I'm going to gather it. And I also prefer to sew a stitch that will gather the fabric later in quarters. So from quarter to quarter, another one quarter to quarter, and that essentially helps me to gather it a little bit easier because sometimes the thread can break. Obviously, you can also just sew a straight stitch and then gather it. It depends what you prefer. But this is what I like to do because it's just easier. It's more time consuming. However, the thread never breaks when I do it this way because it's a smaller distance. To finish this placemat very nicely, what you have to do is sew a stitch on top of the previous stitch. So I do it because the thread that I'm using is white and I don't want that white thread to be visible on the right side, and that is the way to do it. So essentially what you do, you don't sew inside of the seam allowance, but try to sew right on top of that previous stitch, and that will hide the thread beautifully and it will not be visible on the bottom of the placemat, which is really nice because I do like to make sure that all my garments or projects are finished really beautifully, that they don't look homemade, and I think that makes it look not homemade. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to finish stockings. I also have to go to a fabric store tomorrow, but that is tomorrow. I'm not going to worry about it today. So all right, let's go and sew this. have all of my pieces pinned and it took me 100 clips to do it. I gotta say, I am slowly warming up to those clips, even though at the beginning I was like, you know what, I don't really like them. They're kind of finicky. I don't get the hype, but it was really fast. So I gotta say, I kind of understand why people on the internet love using clips instead of pins. I still will use pins probably quite a lot, but for projects like this for the house, why not? Honestly, if you're doing similar project like you're sewing stockings for the whole family, the process of making them is very repetitive, so it's good to batch sew everything and then just go to the next step. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and I'll see you later. I have officially finished all of my sewing projects for Christmas and I'm so excited because I get to decorate. I love Christmas season, but I never do anything above Christmas tree. So this year I have stockings that I'm going to show you in a second. They turned out beautifully. I have a wreath. I've never had a wreath in my life. I have placemats that are Christmas themed Christmas tree. And I also bought a star at IKEA that I've been wanting to buy for a very long time, but I would always get to IKEA too late and all of the ones that I wanted were always sold out. So I'm very excited about that star. Okay, let me show you the stockings first. So the stockings turn out so beautiful. I love the color combination. I think it all works really well because the trim matches the cream here and this green, it's fine. It looks good. I love it. I also love the red one. The red one is just so beautiful. I'm glad I was able to finish them on time. I just need to go to one of those stores, I don't know, like Hobby Lobby or Target or something like that, and get those little hangers for stockings. So that's what I gotta do because I wanna put them above a fireplace, as one should. And if you want to know how to make them step by step, because I didn't really show you the whole process in this video, then there will be a video right after this one, a really, really short few-minute video where I show you how to make them. I also recorded pretty much the same thing last year. And if you're very impatient and want to make them, you can go there. I know it's December and a lot of you probably have stockings, but this is such a cool thing that you can make and you can just put gifts in it and just give it to people as like a little gift. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. So obviously stay tuned for that. It will be there in a few days. And I'm going to show you the placemats. I made them for the first time and I am so happy that I made them. I don't think I'll ever buy placemats again in my life. I think I'm just going to make them because they are quite easy to make and they are so beautiful. I didn't iron them, by the way, so they are a little wrinkled, but it doesn't matter because you get the point. Honestly, what I have to do right now is make some food, invite friends over, decorate the table with those beautiful placemats and just make them admire my work. I'm joking, okay? There will be a quick video right after this one where I show you how to make those placemats. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that video. Those placemats, they don't have to be just for Christmas. You can make them in any color you like. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right, I gotta go and decorate the house right now because that is the only thing I'm thinking about right now. Literally the only thing I'm thinking about. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.